So one thing I want to say is that with regards to the panel, we also have Bill Fulford with us joining as one of the panelists. He didn't have a formal presentation, but he's available particularly for comments and discussion. And I think everyone who has worked in the philosophy of psychiatry area is sort of like familiar with Bill and the stature he has in this community. So I'm very glad that that Bill is with us. I want to say, so Bill, do you have any thoughts on sort of like on the presentations we have had so far? Any reactions or anything else you want to share before we open this up for a general discussion?
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
I've got slight signal problems as well, I think. My main reaction is what an exciting and timely initiative, Awais, and to thank all our speakers for filling out your thoughts in such a very exciting way. I was reminded when the session started that one of our early members of the philosophy section in the Royal College of Psychiatrists was Gwen Adshead, who's gone on to become a very distinguished forensic psychiatrist. And she organized a survey of interest in philosophy among psychiatrists of the day. This was back in the late 1980s. And our idea was that we would get a very low level of interest so that we could show what a good job the philosophy of special interest had done. In fact, what we found was that, and we loaded the questionnaire that we sent round to sort of towards having to examine philosophy in the membership exam of the college. So we thought everybody would say, what a terrible idea. But in fact, over 50% of the psychiatrists that we surveyed said that they would very much welcome more philosophy involvement in the college. And the special interest group went on to become, I think it's still the second biggest group in the college. So there's a real thirst for what you're trying to do, Awais, and our other colleagues. And it's wonderful to see that thirst being slaked so effectively by the new courses that are being set up around the world. I think there's also a slight cautionary note in that, because although we got this fantastic level of interest among college members, both in that initial questionnaire and in the way they signed up for the special interest group, we still, I believe, Matt, you may be more up to date, Matt Broom, you may be more up to date than me on this. I think we still don't have any significant element of philosophy in the membership exam for the college. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's correct. I know Tassos is on the call as well, who's now chair of this philosophy special interest group. So Tassos may want to contribute. I think there's moves towards that. And obviously in the UK, at least, we're very lucky. Yeah, Tassos has said that there's none. And we've got obviously Professor Dave as Dean, who's in charge of the UK training. And obviously Subodh has been a great ally of philosophy over the years in the UK. So I'm hoping with Tassos and Subodh, we might see a window bill again.
Well, we might. And certainly they have much greater political skills than I had at the time, and they may be able to move things where we haven't before. I think there's a big challenge in moving from even a large number of excited individuals to getting through the different committees that are involved in an institution taking up the challenge. But you know, there's nothing like keeping at it, and it's wonderful, Awais, that you've brought us all back to this very core agenda for the whole field in moving it forward. I think the other general point I'd like to make is, Awais, I was struck that you rather explicitly focused your initiative on the needs of medical students and medical training, whereas I think many of our other speakers, and Serif, I noticed you particularly were emphasizing the extent of the diversity of students who take an interest in this. My instinct would be to use a phrase like healthcare professionals. I understand you want to focus on the needs of practice rather than the needs of philosophy, because certainly in the UK, philosophers have got an awful lot more out of this interdisciplinary field and have taken it up right to the highest level in a way that among the practitioners we haven't really. But I think a phrase like healthcare professionals, or even broader practitioners, so that you can include experts by experience, that would be my instinct. You still get the focus on practice, but you wouldn't be limiting it to medics. I know you don't intend to limit it to medics, but if you say medical students, it will be seen that way, I fear. So those were my only initial comments. Ashok, thank you for the Awais, thank you for the invitation just to say a few words.
Of course, yeah, no, thanks, Bill, and I completely agree. Definitely, we need to sort of like make this as inclusive as possible. I just don't want to lose sight of the fact that we have had gains in education in other areas such as philosophy, and we need to find ways of sort of like incorporating that in medical education as well. Otherwise, there's this danger that's going to remain neglected.